So what is it about military history that you like?
I think it's like the benchmark of civilization because, like we were saying, the cutting edge of technology is always devoted to the military, and the way everything is now is from military conflict, basically, the way countries are drawn up and, where people are at now and things like that. So it really kind of tells the story of like thousands of people. I got into it because the only person that had served in my family was my grandfather, and he was in World War II, and that kind of got me interested in it and started reading about it, and then I got into other genres and eras after that, but that was what really kind of hooked me on military history.
Did he have stories or things that...
Yeah, he had a few. Like, I was younger when he passed away, but I still have his jacket, and I got all of the rest of his stuff from when he served. So it was like, for me, it was really interesting to kind of keep it alive and appreciate it, and keep it for everybody else in the family to enjoy and stuff.
Do you have any particularly cool things in the shop that have a good story behind how you got them?
You guys had noticed my heads. The heads were, we had got a hold of the lady that her beauty salon went out of business, and the heads are expensive to display the helmets on, so we took all of her female mannequin heads and then had to draw beards and mustaches on them to make them a little more tough with the helmets. That's kind of a funny piece. At my house, I have a World War I trench knife. It's an American trench knife with the knuckle dusters. I have that in a shadow box, and then I have a Russian, right after the Civil War, they came out with a poster, and I've got that framed up in the house. So.
What do you like about it?
The poster, it mimics St. George and the Dragon, and that was my favorite painting of all time. And the knuckle duster knife, I had wanted one of those since I was a little kid. So I traded 4 swords for those about 8 years ago, and that was the one piece I've kept for myself. So there's a lot of different levels of collectors because there's a lot of different price points for collectibles. It just, when you get into patches or like some of the newer helmets, things like that, that's a little more lower end. And then when you get to some of the harder to find, very rare stuff, that can get up hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we try to be where we have something for everybody and all levels of collectors. They have a little more character, I think, and it comes back to, like we were saying, just being able to identify with it. If you have a helmet and you put it on a head, you can kind of see like that person, what they wore, or if it's like has their name in it, it's a little more personalized, I think, than some of the paperwork or things like that. The majority of the stuff in this country was brought back by veterans coming home, either from the Pacific or European theaters, like for World War II, for example. So that would be people that have had it, either we get it from the veterans themselves, or like when they pass away, their estate, whoever's managing their estate will bring it in looking to sell it. There are collectors that have served from that time and then collected forward from the 50s and 60s that have these huge collections, and now they're getting in their 70s and 80s, so they're looking to downsize. So it's just a number of different ways. There's still people I deal with in other countries that have access to this stuff, and we buy and trade amongst ourselves. So that's another way to bring it in. But the majority of it is like that bring back stuff.
Like if more people were to collect, do you think that would be beneficial?
I do, just because, like we were talking about just with Afghanistan, I mean, so many things repeat themselves, and, we never seem to learn from our mistakes, or we just keep making the same mistakes, and it would be maybe good if people figured out what not to do, and it might help us in the future. I don't know. We were talking about making the same mistakes. I don't think we've learned anything, like the way we still treat veterans with like mental health and benefits and things like that. It's very difficult because you go from being active duty to like a week later after you process out, you're back home and just expected to like pick up normal life and things like that. So we don't really have that transition for them. So it's difficult for some people to kind of reassimilate.
Would you encourage troops coming home to keep their uniforms and medals?
Personally, I would say yeah, because you may not think about it now or may not want it now, but 10 years from now, or when you have kids, you're going to want to show them kind of what you did, and pictures of when you served or who you served with, if you stay in touch with your friends and stuff like that. Like the guys I served with, it's always fun when we look at our old pictures and stuff like that, it's just fun. For me personally, I mean, we did some stuff that was miserable, but now I look back on it and it's like I could never do that again because I'm not in that kind of shape now, and things like that. I'm not 20 years old anymore, so it helps you in the rest of your life too, I think, just because once you feel like you can do anything, then the sky's the limit.
Thank you for watching the Kerson's Antiques YouTube channel. If you own an item like this, or you would like to, check us out at www.kersonsantiques.com or click the big K at the end of the episode. For more episodes like this, check out our recommended videos. Thanks.